I want to do a very brief rebuttal, something that you can use. I will link this document down below, and you can use this as a comment when you're talking to Muslims and atheists who want to use the Crusades as an indictment against Christianity. The Crusades were a defensive war against a war of aggression, or multiple wars of aggression, multiple centuries of aggression, violence, looting, rape, pillage, and conquest by Islamic armies. I tend to paste this in the comments, and it tends to silence any discussion at that point. The First Crusades began during the Middle Ages in the year 1095 as a result of a cry for help against the invading Islamic armies. They occurred 460 years after the first Christian city was overrun. They occurred 457 years after Jerusalem was conquered. 453 years after Egypt was taken from Christendom. 443 years after Muslim armies invaded and plundered Italy. 427 years after Muslim armies first laid siege to Christendom's eastern capital of Constantinople. 380 years after Spain was conquered by Muslim armies. 363 years after France was first invaded by Muslim armies. 363 years after France was first invaded by Muslim armies. 249 years after Rome itself was attacked by Muslim armies. This happened twice, and this is why the Vatican has that massive wall around it. Now, this was only after 4 centuries of church burnings, killings, enslavement, and forced conversions of Christians. By the time the Crusades began, 3/4 of the Christian world had been conquered, and its people either forced to convert or enslaved under Islam. Without the sacrifices and the heroic defense of Europe made by Charles Martel at the Battle of Tours in 732, this was not far from Paris, they nearly conquered France. The Templar Knights from 1129 to 1312. El Cid's reconquest in 1085. The Venetian fleet at Lepanto in 1571. The Polish and Austrian knights at the gates of Vienna in 1683. The Serbian Hajduks fighting off the Ottoman Turks in 1804, Europe would have been converted to Islam like the Middle East and North Africa were, and you know the state of those parts of the world. And by the way, you owe the Catholic Church great appreciation for their efforts. These were Catholics. During this ongoing jihad that began in the 7th century, 3/4 of Christendom's original territory, 70% of the original territory of Christendom, all of North Africa, Egypt, Greater Syria, and Anatolia, Asia Minor or Turkey, was permanently swallowed up by Islam. Within a few years of Muhammad's death, Muslims had invaded 28 countries, and I think this was within 3 years of Muhammad's death. Jihad means to make war on the unbeliever to spread Islam. They would have invaded and conquered Europe completely if it weren't for the defensive action known as the Crusades. Thanks.